Ni hao, Yan Yan food tubers, Chef Michael here. You are probably wondering why I'm wearing this Irish hat and I was doing an Irish jig, because I'm going to make soda bread today, and that's exactly where it comes from Ireland. It's an interesting bread because it doesn't use any yeast, it uses baking soda and baking powder as a raising agent. I'm going to make it very special by adding some lovely dried fruit and nuts and make it a fruit soda bread. Should we go and have a look and see what ingredients we need? Come on in. I have 250 grams of buttermilk, 100 grams of caster sugar, 2 eggs, 50 grams of softened butter, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and in here I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 500 grams of plain flour, and also fruit and nuts. So it's a really simple dough to make. Basically you put your dry ingredients together, your wet ingredients together, and you mix them all together, pop it in the oven. Very simple. Let's get started. Into a bowl, large mixing bowl, goes my flour, my salt, my baking soda, my baking powder, and my caster sugar. And also, at this stage, I'm going to put my fruit in. I'll give that a quick mix around, and that is my dry ingredients. And now for my wet ingredients. Break my eggs into a bowl, and I'm going to whisk them with my little whisk and set them aside. Then into another bowl, I'm going to put my buttermilk. See, it's got a beautiful creamy texture. And then I need to melt my butter. So into a saucepan on a very low heat, I'm just going to pop my butter. I just want to melt that down very gently, very slowly. I don't want it to boil, I don't want it to burn, I just want it to be melted. So just on a very, very low heat. There we go, that's done, and as you can see, that's just melted. If it's too hot, it will scramble the eggs, and you don't want that to happen. So into my buttermilk, I'm going to pour most of the egg, but I'm just going to save about a tablespoon, and that'll be used for washing my bread. Then in goes the butter. Give that a little mix. Make sure it's all combined. And that is my wet mix. Got my flour here. That's my dry mix. I'm going to put my wet mix in. And then I'm just going to lightly mix that through until it's all combined. Now we don't want to overwork it or overmix it, otherwise the bread will become very tough. So just gently combine all the ingredients till it forms a rough dough. Don't be frightened to get your hands dirty. To just bring it into a nice ball of dough. So there we are. I've combined all the ingredients into a rough, what we call a cob shape. I've just mixed it through. I'm not going to knead it. It doesn't need any kneading. It just needs to be like that. Next up, I have lined a baking tray with baking paper, and I'm just going to throw a little bit of flour on the bottom, just so it doesn't stick. Then I'm going to get my loaf. I'm going to pop it in the middle, form it into a round shape. Then I'm going to grab my extra egg and just paint the egg of my loaf. And that'll give it a nice golden brown finish at the end. Now that's ready for the oven, but I have one more job to do. I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to cut about 1 inch deep across, like that, across the top of the loaf. And that'll help when the bread rises, that'll help for the bread to rise up. And now my bread is ready for the oven. So I put my bread in the oven at 175 degrees, and that will take around about 40 to 50 minutes. So that's been baking for about 50 minutes, so let's see if my Irish soda bread is ready. Let's have a look. Ooh, lovely and golden brown. Sounds a little bit hollow. That's how you tell whether bread is ready. I reckon that's done. Let's get it out of the oven. Now I'm just going to let that cool for about 10 minutes, but we want to eat it when it's warm because that's the best way to eat it. Ooh, I'm just going to slice off a bit. Oh, look at that, it's still warm. Best way to have this with just a little bit of butter. Oh, look at that. Mmm, so delicious. All those beautiful fruit nuts. Yum, yum. So there we have my really simple, easy to make soda bread. Always really nice straight out of the oven when it's warm with lashings of butter. But if you don't eat it all up at once, then you can toast it in the morning and have lots of jam on it. Until next time, bye bye.